Somebody said, all right, tell me about it. I'm like, all right, you're going to die. Your beneficiary is going to get money. Any questions? Like, what else is there to say, right? And then all the agents on my live dials, they start laughing, realizing how simple it actually is.
All right, welcome to True Talk. Got my man Elvir Bazdarevic.
Elvir.
Damn it.
Bazdarevic. There you go.
Got it. But dude, you were just telling me people call you Elvis instead.
Yeah.
How'd that even start?
So when I started in this industry, I would call people up and I'm like, hey, my name is Elvir. I'm calling. I couldn't even finish my script, and they're like, who? I was working in Missouri, and they're like, Elvira? I'm like, no, not Elvira. I was like, I don't want to look like Elvira. And then one time, one lady called me Elvis. I was like, I'm gonna stick with Elvis, and never had an ississue ever since.
So you lead with that now, like
yeah. And
funny.
I'm in Tennessee now, so they're like, Elvis in Tennessee.
Oh, they must love that, huh? That's hysterical.
Yeah, it's funny.
So you've been with us how long now, Elvir?
2 years.
2 years, and you came from a previous company in insurance,
Practice
right?
company, yep.
Was that company was that the first time you sold life insurance with them?
Yep.
Got it. Where are you from originally, Elvir?
Originally from Yugoslavia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. And I was reading that you fled that country, right? Like how
old
were you?
So early '92.
Okay.
And there was a civil war. Socialism doesn't work. So
right.
Communism doesn't work.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, we had to flee. We were in Germany from '92 to '98. And
okay. How old were you at that time?
Man, I was 5 or 6 when we left, and then I was about 11 when we came here.
Wow. So at 5 or 6, dude, what's it like to just have to be uprooted from where you're born and raised?
Yeah, it's I need a lot of therapy sessions afterwards.
I bet.
But I remember as a kid, man, there was tanks outside, and we had to just you remember vivid things, you know?
Yep.
I just think back, gosh, what were my parents thinking, you know?
Yeah.
Can you imagine having to go through that right now? So, but
right.
yeah, I mean, just the grace of God, somehow we got out of there and found a better life.
Yeah. So you moved. So you went to Germany first. You were there for a few years.
Yeah, we were there for 7 years as immigrants.
Okay.
And
what was that like?
Dude, that was miserable.
Really?
I mean, I had fun as a kid, but
yeah.
I remember as a kid, because we didn't have money, and so the government would bring crepes of food every week, and we would wait every week for them to replenish food. Wow. And only thing I can think about as a kid, I would like. I was talking, because I have two other siblings. It's like, you think we're gonna get Nutella this week? You know?
Wow.
And then the trucks would come, and it would be like milk and some bread, and then 1 week we got Nutella. We were so excited. I mean, just small things like that.
Little things, yeah. Wow. So then you were what, 12? You said when you left?
When we left Germany, I was 11.
11. Yeah. Okay. And you guys came straight to the States?
Yeah, they had a like a lottery.
Yeah.
And you had to apply for it. We were applying to go to Canada.
Okay.
And I guess we missed the window. And
so we were your second choice.
Yeah, second choice. And this lady's like, hey, they have applications, so you can actually come to the United States. And so we applied for it, and we got picked. And I vividly remember when I got here, we actually touched down, right, in the United States. And my dad looked at me. He's like, don't F this up.
Really?
I'm going to kill you myself. He's like, I brought you in this world. I'm going to take you out.
Wow.
So, I took that to heart.
Yeah. But I mean, you're talking years, right? That was the goal was always to leave Germany, right?
Yeah. Originally we were going to go back, but everything was destroyed.
Yeah.
So you couldn't do anything. I'm like, my mom's like, go home to what?
Right.
Like, there's nothing left. So you had to find different options.
Do you remember what it was like hearing the news that you guys got selected in the lottery to come here?
I don't necessarily remember that portion. I just remember we had to go through like 6 different judges.
Really?
They had to interview us. And I just remember sitting there all day long, and all these judges to approve that we would come here. I mean, it was a crazy transition trying to come over here. So
What state did you guys move to?
Tennessee.
Tennessee. Yeah. Did you like it right off the bat? Or?
I couldn't tell you what the difference was.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, we're first time here, so it's like, yeah, okay. They did find us a job. Well, my parents, they found a job, and it was like in '98. My mom got a job at $2 an hour, folding chocolate and chocolate cookies, and my dad was sweeping at a dry cleaners for like $4 an hour.
Yeah.
And so from my parents, I learned work ethic. So from there, they went and just got better, and they applied for better positions. They knew, okay, I need to learn these skills, so they went and learned them. So I learned work ethic from an early age.
Yeah. I bet there's a lot of life lesson. I mean, at the time, of course, you don't realize it, right, because of how bad it is. But looking back, I mean, a lot of what we go through at a young age shapes you to, you know, who you are as an adult. So I bet there was a lot of kind of hidden lessons.
Yeah, man. That's one of my drivers. I never want to be back. I never want to be broke again.
Yeah.
So I don't care. I will do whatever it takes, but I will not be broke.
You use that as a motivation.
Yeah, absolutely. I knew what it was sitting there having a couple of loaves of bread left waiting a couple of days for them to bring me crepes of food. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I was a kid, don't get me wrong, but I never wanted to live like that again.
Right. Did you already speak English when you came here? Did you learn?
No. I spoke German.
Yeah.
Because I went to school there.
Okay.
And then once you learn one language, it's pretty easy to pick it up. It didn't take long for kids to pick it up.
Right.
So, I mean, I was pretty young. So, went to school, picked it up in a couple months.
Got it.
Yeah.
Did you go to college?
I went to a technical school. I got a software engineering degree and bachelor's, and now I'm selling insurance.
Yeah. Software engineer. What was your plan initially? What did you want to do?
So I wanted to, you know, I love computers.
Yeah.
And I'm a big old geek. And
when did that start?
My first computer was a Commodore 64, right? It was back in the day when you had those big old discs you put in.
Old floppy discs.
I was playing 8-bit basketball with my brother, but I was fascinated by computers back in the day, and I was like, man, I just learned things, you know, how to program and all that stuff before we went. Learn how to bootleg, songs and all kinds of stuff. But
I do remember the days of taking, I never understood this. It would take 30 minutes to download a 3-minute song.
Yeah.
I'm like, the song's 3 minutes. Why is it taking 30 minutes?
That was back in the day. Yep. Now everything is instant. My kids will never understand that.
No. Nope.
But, yeah, so I went to school, and then I got a software engineering degree. I worked at a university. They paid for my school, which thank God. And then I went to work for a Fortune 500 company in Nashville doing healthcare stuff and systems consulting and all that stuff. But I never liked sitting behind a desk.
Got it.
I wanted to be in front of people. I wanted to build something, and I could never work for anybody else.
Okay.
Right. And so that transitioned into my mom's, my wife's mother. My mother-in-law got diagnosed with cancer, and they lived in Missouri. And so she had about 8 months to live.
Oh, wow.
And so something told me, hey, just go over there. We sold our house. I quit my job and everything. We moved into our mom's basement during that process, and it was in Springfield, Missouri.
Okay.
And I was like, man, what am I going to do? And I love cars.
Really?
All right. And I love BMWs.
What's your favorite car?
Porsche. Right?
Really?
Everybody's.
Okay.
But at that time, I loved BMWs because that's what I was able to afford.
Yeah.
And I walked up to the dealership. I was like, hey, I need a job. And the owner was there. He's like, can you sell? I was like, no, but I can learn. He's like, you're hired.
Let's help an interview.
Yeah. And then he taught me how to sell. And that transition later on, I'm so grateful learning those skill sets to where I am today. Because, man, without those skill sets of learning how to sell, I don't think I would do so well here.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. What made you just go to the car dealership and go, hey, I want a job?
Because I love cars. I figured, hey, man, there's a big old dealership there, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go sell some cars.
Yeah.
Just out of the whip. And
were you surprised, or did you think you were gonna get hired?
I didn't know. I just went.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, whatever, give it a shot.
I mean, what's the big deal?
Yeah, worst thing to say is no.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah. So the guy hired me. He was this Italian guy who's been in the car business for so long.
Yeah.
Just hardcore closer. And, dude, I've learned so much from that guy. It's insane.
How long were you there for?
2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then at one point, you start. I lived a block from there, and then you're spending. I was there 6 days a week, all day long. I was from the block, and I never saw my family. And I was like, man, either I try to do something and build either my own car business or something where I can own it and buy my time back, or I find something else.
Got it.
And that's when I found this opportunity.
Okay, found life. Well, the other company first,
right? Right. So I was looking at different jobs.
Yeah.
You know, I got hired on by Cold Market. So
Okay.
I applied for this job about account executive for life insurance or something like that. And
did you specifically look into life insurance for a
dude, I didn't know what they were selling.
Okay.
I just saw you can make X amount of dollars.
Got it.
I was like, well, let's see what this is.
Yeah. You knew it was sales, though?
Yeah, I knew it was sales, right? I figured if I can sell cars, I can sell anything.
Sure.
Right? If I knew the concept of selling.
Yeah.
And then the interview I had, the lady said, yeah, you can buy leads. And I was like, and they didn't understand the concept. I was like, what do you mean leads? She's like, yeah, you buy these leads, people fill something out, they want to talk to you. And my mind immediately went to, this is so efficient.
Yeah.
Right? It never went to like, oh my gosh, I got to spend money. It went to, oh, this is efficient.
Right.
Because in the car business, I would sit there all day long waiting for somebody to come into the lot.
Yeah.
It was so inefficient, dude. Sometimes it would be 8 hours and nobody walks up.
Yeah.
You know, like, this is horrible. But I was like, if I can buy some leads and go to their house and has their handwriting that they want to talk to me.
Right.
First thing that came was like, how many can I buy?
That's funny. If you ever listen to Sean talk about his, entry into say he had the same question. Guy showed him a lead. He's like, how many you got?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, but it's funny, when you're recruiting that mentality, someone who hasn't been in sales, usually purchasing a leads is a big thing for them to comprehend, and a lot of them fight it, right? Like, well, do I have to buy leads every week? How much are they? But, like where you come from, a lot of people that have been in sales get it because they're used to hanging around the car lot all day, no one coming in, or they're used to, the free leads that are essentially a name on a piece of paper. They didn't ask for anything. So to have something that whether they called in, filled out, went online, they express an interest in what you're selling, that's a major advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. And I wasn't even licensed, and they said, why don't you come down to convention, take a look at it, see what we got going on.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even licensed. I was like, honey, I'm going down to Orlando about this opportunity. She's like, you doing what? Right? And I was like,
how long did it take you to get a license?
Dude, I failed it 3 times.
For real?
Yeah.
Damn.
I was so mad. At the point, I memorized all the questions.
Yeah.
I knew the answer at the end.
Dude, you're a software engineer. How the hell did you fail the life insurance test?
I don't know, man. Life is funny.
Yeah.
No idea.
Yeah. So 3 times, but you still pushed through. Got it.
Yep.
How would that feel like to finally pass? Were you shocked?
Dude, I was so happy.
Yeah.
Just my wife's like, well, finally. My wife passed it the first time. I was so mad.
Did she pass it before you?
No, it was
after.
Yeah.
Oh, so that'd be even worse.
No, dude.
What was it like when you first started calling on leads?
I was okay with calling leads. Because I was calling leads before, right?
Yeah.
I understood, hey, try to get an appointment for them to come in and stuff like that. So so
you had some leads in the car business?
Yeah. It's not
the same.
Yeah, it's like, hey, there's the guy that comes in, he got the service, call him, see if he wants to trade it.
Got it.
Right? But here it was like, the goal was get licensed, go buy some leads, make an appointment.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, cool. I went, I didn't even have a carrier, dude. And I just went online and I just bought the cheapest lead there was.
Yeah.
It was like, I call them Z leads, right?
Okay.
Old direct mail, 3-4 years old. I bought them. I didn't even have a script. I just called them. I was like, hey, my name is Elvir. I'm coming over. You guys fill this out. And this lady's like, we did what? It's like, I don't know. I saw some videos. Some people were saying these things.
Yeah.
I was like, let me try it. So I went over to their house. The guy that hired me, I said, hey, I got an appointment. What do I do? He's like, just go over there. Call me when you get there. I was like, all right, cool. I didn't know how to quote. I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
I just went there and I just wanted to see what I didn't know.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Like, I just wanted to see the whole process so I can go back to the drawing board and like, okay, I didn't know how to quote. I don't know how to do the application. Now I know how to do it. Right. So I watched the video how to do an appointment, and I try to copy it as good as I can, say the words that they're saying. I don't even know what term a whole life is at this point.
Yeah.
And I sat down. I was like, all right, so I made up some numbers. I was like $60, $70, just like they did on the videos. And I was praying they weren't going to buy because I didn't know what to do. Yeah. And they say, we got to think about it. And I was so relieved.
so you were happy to get to think about it.
Yeah. And I got back in the car and I called my wife. I was happy. She's like, what are you happy? Did you get a nap? I was like, no, but I didn't die.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
And
that's one way to look at it.
And I was just happy that I was able to just complete something that they were teaching me, right?
Yeah.
Regardless if I got the app or not.
Right.
That will come. I just needed to know the process.
Did you have this sense of like, it's not as bad as I expected? Like you said, I didn't die. It's all right. It is what it is, you know?
Yeah.
Wow. It's just funny to hear. I was happy that they said, think about it.
Because I didn't know what I didn't know, but I wanted to see what the process was looking like. Actually, that's how I learn. I can't read anything. I actually have to go through it, learn what I don't know, and then go back to drawing board and then go back at it.
You know what, though? All jokes aside, Elvir, like when you're recruiting, that's what you want. There's two types of agents. There's the guy who needs every question answered. They need to know everything about every product, everything about the lead. When was it created? They need all the information to go out. You know what happens? The guy never goes out. You're like, dude, just give me the stuff. Let me go. I'll figure it out. No, I'm probably not going to close the first one or maybe the next two. Who knows? But I'm going to learn, and then I'm going to get better. That's what you're looking for. The guy, like, I hear all the time, I got to answer his questions. He always has a lot of questions. Dude, let that guy go. That's not your guy. Get the guy that's going to go out, make a mess, come back and go, dude, I screwed this up, but here's what I learned, and how do I fix this?
Yeah.
Just go. I mean, because you learned a hell of a lot more from that one appointment you ran than the guy at home studying every product guide and, all the underwrite. It's not that deep. Remember, Sean used a joke in the training. He'd go, here's how it works. It's life insurance. If they die, it pays. If they get the return of premium and they live, it pays.
Yeah.
If it's a term, it lasts for a term. And if it's whole life, it lasts for whole life. Now go sell.
Yeah. It's so funny. Like right now when I do live dials, literally I would say, hey, my name is Elvis. I'm a life insurance consultant. How you doing? They say, good. I was reaching back out to see if you were still interested in life insurance. That's all I ask. And they say no. I'm like, all right, cool. They say yes. I'm like, all right. So then we go through the process.
Yeah.
And then usually, and this is the funniest thing, and it happens all the time. Somebody says, all right, tell me about it. I'm like, all right, you're going to die. Your beneficiary is going to get money. Any questions? Like, what else is there to say, right? And then all the agents on my live dials, they start laughing, realizing how simple it actually is, right? Yep. And then they realize they're overcomplicating it, right? Yep. I'm like, what else would they want? It's not like I'm selling DirecTV or Comcast. I'm selling life insurance. So if they ask me, how does it work? You have to die, bro.
Yeah, exactly. The only way you get to use it, dude.
Right? I mean, there are some caveats where you get living benefits, but that's not what we're talking about here.
Right.
We're talking about life insurance. Mm-hmm. You know how it works. And then the client usually on the other line starts laughing. Mm-hmm. And they're like, no, how much is it? I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah. All right. But that's my pitch, man. I don't change it.
Dude, having a sense of humor, getting your clients to laugh provides a lot of leeway.
Yeah.
It gives you a lot of room for mistakes and not to be perfect. Like it shouldn't be this uptight sale. Like it's life insurance.
Yeah.
And now we're selling over the phone for the most part. But when you started, you were in home, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you telesales now, virtual?
Yeah, 100% telesales.
Got it. When'd you make that shift?
March of 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
So you're one of the early adapters.
Dude, I had kids.
Yeah.
Nobody knew what we didn't know.
Right.
And I had to generate some cash flow. And for about three months, I was trying all kinds of things. Trying to sound professional, trying to sound like a banker, trying to sound, all kinds of different things. Nothing worked until I was like, dude, you just want some life insurance? And somebody said, yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. Here's how much it is.
Nice.
And they bought.
So how long did you kind of struggle before you came up with that pitch? And
3 months.
Really?
Yeah, 3 months. And then August of 2020, all I did was just call a bunch of people. I got a bunch of leads, and I made like 150 phone calls a day for next 7 days
Yeah.
straight. I was like, hey, can I work on being consistent? I don't care if I make any sales.
Yeah.
And I was like, I challenged myself, be consistent, 150 phone calls for the next 90 days. And ask if they want life insurance.
Dude, that's awesome. I see a note here. It's talking about your mother-in-law. So she did end up passing, right? Now, was that kind of the catalyst to get you interested in life insurance?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, when we got there in her house, I mean, I saw she couldn't work. We had to take her to the doctors and all kinds of stuff. And it's weird when somebody passes away, they get money and you got to go to a funeral, things become real.
Yeah.
And you realize what I actually do. Regardless, it's simple, right? But what we do is very, very important. Because, dude, there's a 100% chance everybody's going to die.
Absolutely.
100% chance.
None of us get out of here alive.
And it's funny. Some people still on the phone call, hey, I'm not going to die. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good
now,
for
she
you.
had some life insurance, right?
Yeah, she did. She did. She didn't have any of the living benefits.
Yeah.
You know, we wish we had, but when she passed away, it paid out.
Got it. So you got to see it kind of firsthand. Have you had death claims since you've been?
Oh,
yeah. Is there one that stands out as a most impactful one?
Yeah. The most impactful one was when their husband passed away. I was the first one that I got the phone call.
Really?
Not even the family members. I was the first one.
Wow.
And she was crying on the other line. It just happened. And I'm like, did you call anybody? She's like, no, you're the first guy. I'm like, oh, did you call your kids? Like, you know. And so it was. It took. I don't know. First death claim I had, man. It kind of rocked my world.
Yeah. How long were you in the business when you got the first
6 months.
one? Wow.
Because I was like, did I do the right thing? What did I fill it out correctly? Because you start second guessing yourself, you know. And thank God it paid out.
Yeah.
So.
What did you think when they called you on that first one?
Yeah, that was just. I was in the car. I was driving to my next appointment, and I was like, I called my wife. I was like, man, you know, you start going through the emotions, you know, the family's crying, you go to the next appointment. I mean, I don't know, maybe that call helped me sell the next appointment, but because I was able to bring that emotion there and make sure it's real, but still, I don't know, it just kind of rocks your world. You go to bed at night hoping that what you did, you didn't mess anything up for them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's claims out there that don't get paid, but it's either the agent doesn't know or something happened, and you know it's just part of it.
Yeah, no, definitely, it's a good way, but it does rock your world, man. I feel like it makes it real, you know. Because it's easy to get caught up in the day to day, like you said, making 150 calls a day. You're meeting with client after client after client, and it's just nonstop, right? It's 1 week, okay, that's my production. Now it's a new week, and it's new clients, and it's easy to get caught up in just the grind, right? But I feel like when those things happen, it's almost like time stands still for a minute, and it really resonates. And like you said, you do bring it into the next appointment in a good way. Yeah. Because you know how real it is. And it's like when that happens, next time you hear you ain't excited to hear or think about it anymore, you know, and maybe you're going to push a little bit more because you're like, dude, I just had this client pass. So yeah, I think it's one thing for me to tell you about a death claim, but as an agent, once you experience it the first time, it really changes.
Yeah, I think it becomes real at that point. You know, for an agent that goes through just trying to figure out how to do this first. Yeah. Right? You're just focusing on, let me learn the process. And then you start making sales, and now you're like, I like this high. You know, this adrenaline of making a sale. And then agents start, because this business is different levels, right? And then agents start looking for that high instead of looking back into the process, and then they start struggling. And there's all kinds of different things that agents go through. But if you step back and realize how important this is. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, nowadays I would say 4 or 5 to 10 claims a year now. Yeah. Because I've been doing this since 2017.
Right. A lot of families protected. You found out about us when you were at your other company, right? Is it true that you were watching this podcast when you weren't even with us?
You had some good info. Good, man. You had some, you know, that deep voice.
Oh, that's what it was. That's what got you? How'd you even find out about us? Just online, looking around? Or?
I mean, you guys have a presence.
Yeah.
We have a presence.
Right.
You were growing, and just it's one of those things like, hey, what I always feel like, hey, you want to collaborate with people.
Sure.
What are they doing? What is working for them? And how can I learn? Because man, there's so many people throughout this business has impacted me in a good way and a bad way.
Yeah.
I've learned from people how not to do things, and I've learned from people how to do things. And then I've turned it into my own voice. And so by learning from Family First Life, other practice companies, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Can I adopt that? Can I change it? Can I make it better? Again, that's that engineering mindset that comes in, right? And how, going back to the first principle, Elon Musk uses, hey, how can I take whatever they're doing, break it down to the common denominator, to the basics, and can I build upon that? And so, yeah, just learning. And then you guys were selling a lot. Family First Life was selling a lot. And I was like, all right, they're doing something. What are they doing? And then internet leads came about, and I started looking at internet leads, final expense leads. How do you do that? Because I never sold a final expense lead.
What were you selling at the other company?
Mortgage protection.
All mortgage.
I didn't even know mortgage final expense was a thing.
Really?
No,
Wow.
I had no idea. I was like, here's mortgage, go do it. And I was
Yeah.
like, all right, cool. And then I learned final expense. I was like, what's final expense?
Yeah.
Didn't even know, right? So you just start learning.
Yeah. So initially you were just watching to learn stuff. You weren't trying to join us or anything. You're like, hey, let me just learn from the. How long were you watching before you made the move?
Say about a year.
Really?
Yeah, because
Wow.
there were some things happening here and there,
Sure.
and time came.
Yeah.
Businesses change and relationship change, and it was time for a change at that
Got it.
point. And it's funny. I Googled FFL,
Yeah.
and the first guy that popped up was Dave Richard.
Really?
So I called Dave. I was
Yeah.
like, hey, I want to work with you.
So you didn't know Dave prior to this? Found him
No.
online.
Yeah, found him
So you
online.
called him up.
Yeah.
How was that phone call?
I told him, hey, I want this and that. Can we work together? And he's like, well, David.
Yeah.
I love Dave. And sure enough, we were able to come to agreement and
Got it.
work together. And it was a blessing for my family. I was able to, just help a lot of families from that point on.
Got it. Yeah, no, Dave's a great guy. Building an agency now, right? Is it? I'm looking at your number. Well, actually, first of all, personal production. Your first year with us, 150 families you helped.
I didn't have all my contracts yet.
Yeah. How long were you with us in 22?
Uh,
Because that's not all 12 months, right?
no, it was like four months.
So
I had
4
to-
months,
yeah.
about 150.
Yeah.
And then last year, you hit Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
You snuck right into 405 right there.
Yeah. I had to change some things,
Yeah.
and I was like, man, I better hit it. And then I needed to do like 75,000 in December. I was like, all right, let me do this. Buckle down.
Oh, so you hit it in the last month.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, we were at convention.
Yeah.
I took a picture with Dave and Eric, and they were wearing red jackets, and I didn't. I got pissed off.
Okay.
I was like, man, how you going to do this to me, man? How you going to take a picture? You guys are wearing red jackets, and I'm not.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, we're going to take one next year. So
And you
I
got it
made
done.
sure. Yeah.
Nice.
And then they got the green jackets now. I was like, really? Come on, man.
Hey, something else to shoot for, right?
Yeah.
It looks like you're on track this year, 255 so far, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, just outside, actually, I think right on track. Are you tracking for green jacket this year?
We're close.
Close, okay.
We're bringing people on. I want to hit it, of course, but
Yeah.
I think it's important to build and continue building
Sure.
and just stay on track. I mean, I'll eventually hit it.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Correct. What are you guys doing a month right now?
We're four to five,
Got
close to there.
Yeah.
And we're just bringing people on and just.
What's your favorite thing about recruiting and building?
I hated recruiting.
You did?
Oh my God, did I hate recruiting?
What'd you hate about it? the
I just
most?
didn't like it, dude.
Yeah.
I felt like I was selling something I was trying to sell a pipe dream or something
Yeah.
like that. So now I'm very basic, dude. I go back to life insurance is life insurance.
Yeah.
And so now I'm just looking for remote life insurance agents. What do you do? Hey, we buy leads, we call them, we try to help them.
Yeah.
Would you like to be a part of that? Right. And then, of course, if they say yes, I try to give them some vision. But, man, it's the same thing, right? I try to give people try to teach them what I've learned over time and give them value there, because I feel like I've learned a lot. But at the end of the day, it's all about relationships. If I can jive with you, great, let's work together. But if we can't, this ain't the place for you, man. Because at the end of the day, I love what Trey Honeycutt said one day on a call. He said, the best thing Andrew Taylor did for me was show me that he doesn't need my income. And Andrew Taylor went out there. So I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I want to have a team. I don't need a team.
Correct. And that's the best way to build it. I mean, that's why we're sitting here today. That was Sean's mentality 10, 15 years ago. He's like, dude, I can help 20, 30, 40 families a month. I don't need you. I'd like to have you. I'd like you to do the same so you can benefit for your family, but I can do this without you.
Yep.
You know, it's funny because there's guys that fight it, you know, that they build and they don't sell. And they don't understand why they're not growing. It's like, that's a huge part of it. Someone's got to lead. You're not saying you have to be the top producer in your team, but you have to be out there doing it. Even some of these top guys, they come out, they get back in the field. Eric Schmidt's back in the field. You know, Zach Twardowski, new lead type comes out, he'll get back in the field. Like Zach's agency is massive, probably number 2 in the entire company. He does not need to sell. He's an integrity partner. But new lead comes out, new type. I mean, IUL, you know, bandwagon. Everyone's jumping on that about a year ago. He's like, dude, let me get back in the field and sell some so I can talk to my agents about it. He wasn't the number 1 producer, but he went out, figured it out, you know. So leading from the front, leading by example is a huge part. So we talk a lot about learning, right? You learn from everything we go through. A couple quick things. So biggest lessons, right? What was the biggest thing you learned from your childhood, everything you've gone through? If you had to pick one thing, this is the biggest lesson I learned from that.
Adapt and change.
Okay.
Biggest thing.
Yep.
You're going to get hit with adversity.
Yep.
That's life.
It's going to happen.
I think character shows what happens at that point. Not when things are good.
Yep.
When things go south, what happens, right?
Got it.
And I take that personality, mentality into my business. I hire people, great if they make sales, but I want to see what happens when they don't.
Correct.
And they get pushed in the corner. What are you going to do when I don't, hey, man, okay, you're here. What are we going to do? I don't have an escape plan for you. What are you going to do? If I'm going to give them a handout, it doesn't do them any good, right? But if they are able to get out of that, work their way out like I did, there's times where my wife and I were like, man, I'm going to go out of business. What do? You buckle down, you get to work, right?
Yep.
And my wife's like, either you figure it out or you do something else.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what good is there to complain? There's no
Nothing.
good. So I like to see what people do when they get pushed to that corner.
Got it. Love it. Same question, but what did you learn from when you were in car sales? What was the biggest lesson there?
Structure of the sale.
Okay.
And the other thing is the concept of selling, right? Can you sell me a pin? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not about the pin. It has nothing to do.
Correct.
Right? It's about what it's going to do for you.
Yeah.
And so that's what I learned. You know, I thought sales, when I bring people on, they're like, oh, I've been doing sales. I'm customer service. I'm like, no, you're not in sales. Being able to bring value to something and how, you know, finding out what the problem is and then give them the value, that's what helped me a lot.
Got it. Last one, your time here, FFL. What's the biggest lesson you've learned?
The biggest lesson is that there's multiple ways of doing something, right? Where I was, it was like, hey, this is the only way.
Yeah.
But I don't want to confine people's ideas.
Right.
Like if I have an agent that says, hey, maybe this will work, I'm like, maybe, but you can try it. But if you fail, don't think that the system doesn't work.
Correct.
Right? You know what I'm saying?
It's just that way. It doesn't work.
It's just, for some reason, that didn't work.
Right.
Here's how it works. You could try different things, but I would not go away from the basics.
Yeah.
You can adapt other things. Hey, maybe we should try some of these things, some of that things. Okay, great. But don't go away from your bread and butter from final expense and mortgage protection. Try those other things. Stab into it.
Yeah.
But don't go away from bread and butter.
Right. Well, to your point, there, you're selling over the phone. There's people that sell predominantly virtual. There's still people that go out in the home. There's people that do all three. Whatever works, dude. There's people in the Hall of Fame that do all three or just do one of each or whatever the case may be. So to your point, yeah, there's definitely, as my old people, my family say, there's what is it? There's a lot of ways to skin a cat, or more than one way to skin a cat, whatever that means. I've never skinned a cat before. So, no, but I guess I believe it. Sounds legit, right? Well, we like to wrap, speaking of skinning a cat, we like to wrap with some fun stuff. These questions have nothing to do with life insurance, business, just straight up fun, all right? So first of all, do you have any hidden talents that we don't know about?
Hidden talents?
Yeah, can you yodel or ride a skateboard or something? No?
Dude, I can't sing. When I tell people, hey, my name is Elvis, they're like, can you sing? I'm like, I wouldn't be selling life insurance if I could sing.
Yeah. I'd be touring as Elvis, right?
No hidden talents.
Wow, okay. Yeah. You a movie guy, music guy?
Yeah, I love movies. Anything.
Favorite movie of all time?
Gladiator.
Really?
Hence why the company's called FFL Gladiator.
Okay. Oh, that's where you got the name? Love it. Love it. If you could be any fictional character in history, who would you pick and why?
Fictional character in history.
Anyone, from a cartoon, from a movie, anyone. Comic book if you want.
This is weird. Right? I would love to go back and walk with Jesus.
Okay. It's not weird.
Just to see what we get to read a lot about Jesus, about some things, but dude, I imagine some of those characters were witty and some of the crazy things they would say. I just want to be a fly on the wall while they were walking. You know what I'm saying? Just to see what was actually happening.
So what I should have asked you was, if you could time travel to any era, where would you go? So we'll rewind that. So if you could time travel, so you'd go visit Jesus.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, just be a fly on the wall. Nice. One country that you'd want to travel to you haven't been yet.
Probably Israel.
Really?
I would like to go back there.
Nice.
I'm from Yugoslavia.
Yeah.
We're going to Italy next year, but I want to go to Israel.
Yeah. Looking back, you've been here a few years. It's kind of like you're just getting started, but you've also done a lot already, right? Like, if you were to look back, what's the one thing you're most proud of?
Surviving.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. It's been 7 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's there's so many times I felt like I was going to get out of business.
Right.
And you start off every morning with prayer, and I'm just grateful for the opportunity and take it for granted.
Absolutely.
And they do some shady stuff, and they shouldn't be doing it. And I think we were talking about earlier, this business will expose people.
Absolutely. Good
or bad.
Yeah.
And yeah,
you're not going to make it 7 years if you're up to shadiness, as you said. It's just it will be exposed. Well, dude, I appreciate you coming up doing this. I really do. Guys, hit subscribe button if you're not already. Elvir, let these guys know where they can follow you on social media if people are watching this and they want to reach out and join your team.
Yeah, just look me up, Elvir Bazdarevic on Facebook. Send me a message.
And call him Elvis when you call him.
Elvis.
Right? Yeah, there you go.
Well,
dude, I appreciate you coming out and doing this. Really
Thanks,
do.
man.
Guys, thanks for watching. Hit subscribe button if you've not already. Share this with your agents, your friends, your family, everybody, so they can meet Elvis, But you know where to find us every week on True Talk. We'll see you next week.